Look, we're doing everything we can to slow the spread of this virus.
For months now, Dr. Mandy Cohen,
The good news is the vast majority of folks are recovering,
has been the face.
Thank you, Governor. Good afternoon.
Of North Carolina's pandemic response.
Wear a face covering. We want you to wash your hands. We want you to wait 6 feet apart.
But today, the Department of Health and Human Services Secretary says she is stepping down.
It has been an honor of a lifetime to serve this state at such an important moment in history. Thank you, Governor.
It's going to be strange. Think back to the start of the pandemic. Pretty much every day at 2 p.m., we'd all turn on our TVs and watch what Dr. Mandy Cohen would say. It wasn't to show you DVR. This was must-see live TV because Dr. Cohen, she helped us make sense of all the chaos. After almost 2 years of this, today she told us she will step aside at the end of December. Dr. Cohen has served as the Department of Health and Human Services Secretary since 2017. Before coming to North Carolina, she also served in the Obama administration. She helped with the rollout of the Affordable Care Act. And the publication Modern Healthcare named her as one of the top 25 women in healthcare in 2019.
It's been an amazing 5 years, but these have been challenging. And so a bit of rest and recovery is what is in store for me next as I think about my next opportunity. There wasn't one moment.
She says she's already got a trip planned in January to rest too. Today, the governor says he's grateful for all Cohen has done for the state.
During which your work has saved countless lives. I deeply appreciate your service and your steady hand in times of crisis. You and I, along with our remarkable team, have been in the trenches together, and we're going to miss you.
Cohen's co-workers at the Department of Health and Human Services, they say she is one of the smartest people you will ever meet. And early on in the pandemic, we got a chance to sit down with her and get some insight into how that brain works.
Thank you, Governor. Good afternoon. I'm Mandy Cohen.
We first heard from Dr. Mandy Cohen on March 3rd, 2020, after the first person in our state tested positive for coronavirus. North Carolina was monitoring the virus since January of that year, but Dr. Cohen says the gravity of the situation really hit her when she saw the images of the healthcare response in China.
I think personally the time for me when I said this is not like any kind of response I have seen before is when I saw a video that showed how the government in China stood up a hospital from the ground up in 10 days. I was like, that made me sit up and take notice in a very, very different way.
Now, more than a year later, she's helped navigate our state through an unprecedented pandemic, something she says no one could have been fully prepared for, but she felt ready to do.
This is something no one has ever experienced before, but I feel lucky that I've had a number of leadership roles at times of crisis.
Cohen graduated from Cornell University, received a medical degree from Yale, and a master's in public health from Harvard. She's an internal medicine doctor, but became interested in shaping policy early on. She was the chief operating officer and chief of staff at the Centers for Medicaid and Medicare Services before she came to work for North Carolina. And through the pandemic, she says her family helped put all the long hours and constant work into perspective.
I'm lucky to have the best husband in the world, and we are lucky that our kids are doing great. They're learning a lot about the coronavirus in a very different way because of mom's job, but they're wonderful and also allow me to put in perspective all of this, right? Because we're doing it for the folks that we love, for our family, for our neighbors, for our communities. So we're faring well, though our lives are upside down like everyone else's.
That background put her in the running for one of the top jobs in President Joe Biden's cabinet. Dr. Cohen was on the short list for Secretary of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. The role ended up going to the Attorney General of California, but a political science professor we spoke with at the time said Cohen had all the qualifications for the role. Today, the Forsyth County Health Department Director Joshua Swift said Cohen's background was vital, both for the state and local responses to the pandemic.
It was vital to the response to have someone who could speak directly to the governor and give him sound advice that's rooted in science. I think that was key to North Carolina's response.
Not everyone approved of the job Cohen did. Daniel Beck commented on our Facebook page, "Should have done this 17 and a half months ago. No great loss." Another viewer commented, "Awesome. Now maybe the rest of the state will get back on track." Cohen says looking back, she did her best with the information available at the time. But there were a few things she wishes she could have changed.
I am very proud of the work, but absolutely, were there things that we should have done in preparation to be better ready to respond? Absolutely. I think we all remember back to the fact that we had a shortage of protective equipment. Number one, we had supply chain issues. We weren't sure if we would have enough ventilators. So certainly there was a lot of lessons learned there. I think our data infrastructure as well was something we needed to build that did not exist at first for the kind of response and the scale of what we were dealing with. So there's a lot of preparatory work that I would have done.
Governor Cooper announced Dr. Cohen's replacement. He appointed Chief Deputy Secretary Kody Kinsley to fill her role. Kinsley has served as the operations lead during the pandemic. He has also overseen the state's response to the opioid epidemic. Before that, Kinsley served in the Department of Treasury during the Obama and Trump administrations. Governor Cooper says Kinsley will take over on January 1st. Cohen said she trusts him to fill the role, even though he does not have a medical degree.
This response, yes, is about making sure we can understand the science and data, and we have plenty of public health experts and doctors that the team will continue to support that. But so much of it is about the execution and the operations, and this is where Kody Kinsley really shines, and I have leaned on him so much to lead our operations. So I think him stepping into that role is really quite a natural fit.
It's clear he's got some big shoes to fill. Like or dislike Dr. Cohen, she is a household name after the pandemic. In fact, she's so well known now, a man in Burlington even wrote a song about her. Get ready for it to be stuck in your head all night, because as we head to break, here is his tribute to Dr. Mandy Cohen.